up, Disney nerds? Today we're going to be talking about the 4 types of parks and what one is you should go to. So say you only have 3 days, what one your party would like. And with the 50th anniversary coming up, we need to have a clean slate and discuss every park and what park your party would want to go to. So let's start now. So first, let's discuss the Magic Kingdom. The pros of the Magic Kingdom are they have this beautiful castle. Now, nowhere else in Disney World will you see the Cinderella Castle except for Magic Kingdom. So that is a big part in like what park you're gonna choose, because this is a classic landmine of Disney World. Another thing that's good with Magic Kingdom is they got roller coasters and slower, calmer rides. Now this is good for the family because that means your 5-year-old that is scared of roller coasters and doesn't reach the height requirement could go on small rides, while the 10-year-old that wants to go on the big rides could go on the big rides. But also it depends on your kids. If say your 5-year-old is sad that he can't go on the big rides, then maybe this isn't the park for you. Now, the next good thing about Magic Kingdom is their restaurants. There is a variety of food, there is many restaurants, and the one I can recommend is Be Our Guest. Now, this restaurant is for all ages because you're literally stepping into the Beast Castle, and you actually get to meet the Beast. And their desserts here are to die for. So those are the pros, but now let's get to the cons. Now, a big con with Magic Kingdom is those crowds. Now, even with COVID going on, this was one of the 2 most it's like the most populated park in Disney. Now, there really isn't much that you can do to avoid crowds, but if you watch my previous video, I believe I posted that, on a trip to Magic Kingdom, you could easily avoid crowds by planning your park the right way. By going to your favorite or the most wait time attraction first, and then going to all the other attractions and just plan it out. Because people go to Tomorrowland first and not Splash Mountain. They go there later and the lines get crowded. So that's on you to plan your Disney vacation or go to a travel agent and avoid those crowds. But that is one of the problems with Magic Kingdom. Another problem with Magic Kingdom is those wait times. Those wait times are, it's just crazy. 55 minutes for Astro Orbiter, that is basically like Dumbo, and 70 minutes for Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Cruise. Now that's a lot, but how could you avoid these? Again, plan your Disney vacation well, and get this app called Magic Guide, and it will tell you what the wait times are when you're in Tomorrowland and you want to go over to Jungle Cruise. Instead of walking all the way over there just to find out that it's 70 minutes, that kind of sucks. Or you can plan your park day right and not do that, but that's up to you again. So here are the pros, here are the cons. It all depends on your party, but this is what Magic Kingdom is most like. Now let's move over to that Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is a big controversy. It's a love it or you hate it. Let's go with the pros. Pros, this atmosphere with everything is amazing. Now, some people don't like this, so this could be a con too. 1 minute you're in the 50s and 60s Hollywood, then you're in Toy Story Land, then all of a sudden you're in Star Wars Muppets, and it's just, for me, I personally like it, because I'm just like, whoa, I feel like I am like it's like a giant movie land, because you're going to all your favorite movies, and then down below where Tower of Terror is and 50s Primetime, you're in Hollywood. So like but some people don't like that because they don't like how like it's Hollywood and then all of a sudden you're in movies. I feel like it's cool because it's one giant theme, but the atmosphere for this park is amazing. So here's Toy Story Land. And the details with this, like, you're the size of a toy. So there's a giant footprint like Andy's foot. And then you see the Millennium Falcon. And then you're in Hollywood. I love it. I think it's actually a pretty cool park for that reason. Now, another cool thing about this park that is only at this park are the actual parades. Now, they used to never have parades here. Now, there aren't really real parades, but there are cavalcades. So at Magic Kingdom, there'll be one float from the parade just going down, but that's one. Or in Epcot, there's gonna be like a car full of Mickey and Minnie. That's one car. And then in Animal Kingdom, they have the boats. They have an actual like 5-car parade thing. Like, it's awesome, and you see your favorite characters. This one is the Pixar parade, and then there's also Disney Junior parade. You even see Buzz Lightyear in his own car. And here's a picture of the Disney Junior parade. Another pro at this park is there are a lot of rides for those older kids. Such as this Slinky Dog Dash, Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, Millennium Falcon, and etc. There isn't a lot of small rides, and that is definitely a con. Now, what could those small rides be? One example is Toy Story Mania, Aliens Rolling Saucers, Rise of Resistance, Muppet Vision 3D, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. However, there are some shows such as Indiana Jones that is currently not open, Frozen sing-along that is open, the Mickey Shorts Theater is open, and the Cars sing-along, which is currently not open, and the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, which I believe is open, but I am not quite sure. So there are lots of shows, lots of stuff for your little ones to do. There is just not as much as the older kids could do. So this is mainly for kids that are 6 and up. This would be the park for kids 6 and up. And for, say you have that grandma that doesn't want to go on roller coasters, maybe this is not the park for you. So here are all the pros of Hollywood Studios. Now the cons. The cons I explained are one of them already. Not a lot of rides for the small kids. Now this is a pretty big con if you are just going with small kids. Now if you're going with your entire family and with that older kid, maybe you should go here. Because if you only had 3 days, this and Magic Kingdom would be a definite. But it also depends on who you're going with. If you're going with a family and there's 2 kids that are small, 2 kids that are older, and the parents, maybe you should go here, and the older kids could go on those roller coasters while the smaller kids could go with the family on the smaller rides, and you would have a good time. Next thing about Hollywood Studios. This is the #1 park with the most crowds. This and Magic Kingdom have the most crowds, but this has more crowds than Magic Kingdom. There is no avoiding it. It's just massively crowded. So if you're a bit cautious with COVID, maybe this isn't the park for you. However, with COVID, Disney takes everything under control. This is the #1 place I felt safe, honestly, besides my home. When I went to an amusement park around here in Pennsylvania, they had no precautions. I felt petrified. But here, they take the most care with everyone. But those crowds are popular here, and they are big crowds too. Now, another thing here about Hollywood Studios is there are not a lot of restaurants. Personally, I never was a fan of Hollywood Studios restaurants, except for Hollywood and Vine. Hollywood and Vine I used to like when it was Disney Junior and it was a buffet. There was a different meals, everything, and the characters were different and unique. Now I know I am 15 years old. At the time I was 10, and honestly I knew I was old. But it was cool to see the Disney Junior people because I know for those little kids, They don't have that anywhere except for the Disney Junior Dance Party. That's the only place they had it. So I felt like it was unique, but now they have it as Mickey and Minnie. And I think that it's kind of like ruins the point because they have Chef Mickey's. They have all these places with Mickey and Minnie, and I feel like it kind of ruined that restaurant for me. And this is Sci-Fi Dine-In, the current photo. Now, I love this restaurant, love the theme. What I don't like about this restaurant is it is pitch black. You cannot see your food. I ordered a pasta dish, and the cheese and the pasta went all over my clothes because I cannot see. And they don't play movies. They have a big screen, and it is disturbing images. Like, I am Clockwork Orange. Like, it did not feel right. It felt weird. If there was one dining place I would be able to recommend for here, table service wise, quick service, there are some quick services that are okay, but table service wise, 50's prime time. It is funny, it's good food, it's mediocre food, meaning like it's okay, it's not grand, it's the food that you would eat with your family, it's okay. Now here are the pros, here are the cons with Hollywood Studios. Now if your kids are younger, maybe not go here, maybe skip it, but if your kids are older, definitely go here. They will love it. Now let's talk about Epcot. The good thing about Epcot is there are lots of small rides, which is great. There is Figment, there is Nemo, there are a lot of small rides. But let's not take away those smaller rides for the little kids, such as Spaceship Earth, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Living with the Land, Ratatouille, which is brand new, Frozen, and Grand Fiesta Tour. There are lots of small things to do here, which is awesome. Another cool feature about this park is there are no lines except for maybe Test Track, Frozen, and Ratatouille. But those are the rides that you have to run to. Now, what we don't know about Ratatouille did not open yet, but I'm sure there will be. But with the other rides, there are no lines. For Nemo, no line. There are basically no lines at this park, and there are no crowds. This is the park with the least amount of crowds because most people don't really like this park. However, it is very underrated, but out of all the 4 parks, this might be the one that's a bit boring. Why is it boring, you ask? It's only boring for the kids, only due to the fact that, if they don't really like science and stuff, they might not like this park. All that there really is that is besides science is Test Track, Ratatouille, Frozen, and maybe the new Guardians ride. That's all that's really gonna be new there. And it's a bit outdated, so those are kind of 2 cons as of why it's, boring and there's not a lot of to do. There's not as much to do as there is as the other parks. However, there are other countries, but most kids won't like the countries unless you're my age and you're older. That's when you'll like the countries, and the countries are mainly for drinking. Most kids can't drink because it's 21 and older, so it's kind of not really fun for those kids. One last thing that is a pro for Epcot is there is the aquarium. Many fish, there is a playground. The playground is currently closed, but there are narwhals, not narwhals, sea lions, that's what they're called. Sea lions, there are squid, there's everything. Every single sea creature is at this aquarium. It is one of the craziest aquariums. It is 3 feet tall, and they have Turtle Talk with Crush. So this is a cool feature at Epcot. As you see, here are the pros, here are the cons. Now with the pros, there are many pros. Rides for every single person to enjoy. No crowds, new rides, new restaurants too, Space 220, fastest ride, aquarium. Cons, not a lot to do. Even though this seems like there's a lot to do, there's not that much to do once you do it all. You can basically finish the park in half a day, honestly. You could also, it's kind of boring for the kids if they don't like science and they're not really fascinated with the countries. It's kind of meh. And it's a bit outdated. Spaceship Earth is very outdated, but they are re-theming it. And with the 50th anniversary, there are massive construction walls. They are re-theming everything. So as it's a bit outdated, but it won't be in the next few years or months to years. It will be amazing looking. And I don't know why my mouth is moving like this. It's kind of like glitchy. So I am sorry for that. Now for the last park, let's talk about Animal Kingdom. Pros to this ride is, of course, the animals. This is a very unique park because it feels like you are in Africa. Now some people, it is a bit hotter for some reason than the other parks. I just feel like it is, and it's probably because how many animals there are there. But there are a lot of cool animals such as this rhino, and I think that is a type of bird. I don't know what bird that is, but there are so many animals at this park. This park is also home to one of the best roller coasters in the world. It is actually the most expensive roller coaster, Everest Mountain. And they also have small rides too for the kids. But they have big rides and small rides. The big rides being Pandora, the Flight of Passage, which is known as one of the best rides in Animal Kingdom and in Disney World itself. Everest and Cali River Rapids. For the little kids, I recommend Dino-Rama. Now, they used to have Primavera World there. Sadly, that is being taken away. I loved it. I don't know why they are taking it away. But they have Dinosaur here, which is could be a bit scary, but I always loved it for some reason. And they also have Tough to Be a Bug, which some people say could be a bit scary, and it could. There are creatures and everything, but it is a fun and loving show. And they have Triceratops Spin. This is my mom's favorite ride. I do not know why. She's not really a fan of that many rides at Disney, but she loves this ride. As you see, I am dripping here sweat because this is the hottest park, in my opinion, in Disney. Every year that I go to this park, always dripping with sweat. Hollywood Studios, no. Magic Kingdom, no. Epcot, no. Animal Kingdom, oh my gosh, it feels like you are touching the sun. Don't know why. Now next, that's unique to this park, that's a pro, is the safari, where you can actually see those animals. This is honestly awesome, because you can't do safaris unless you're here and you're actually in Africa, which I find to be amazing, that you could actually go on a safari ride. Now, another cool aspect of Animal Kingdom is Pandora. There are flying mountains and Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey. And at nighttime, it all is lit up. This is one of the coolest lands ever in Disney World, not just Animal Kingdom. Now let's talk about those cons. There aren't a lot to do here in Animal Kingdom. Now there is a lot to do, but you can do it pretty fast. There isn't, it's not time consuming. So me and my mom, we finished this park day at 3 p.m. and then we wait for dinner the whole time, just sitting and relaxing, because there's not a lot to do. Now, restaurant-wise, there is not a lot of variety of food. We go to Rainforest Cafe because they actually have American food, and we're not really a fan of that African culture food styles or Indian culture food styles. We are more, we like more like hot dogs and cheeseburgers, stuff like that, like the typical Americans. So we go here in Rainforest Cafe, and we also go to Flame Tree Barbecue. This year we are trying to go to Yak and Yeti. We're trying to go to different places here for reviews, but there's just not a lot of variety of food. And I mean, there are cool stuff to try, but for the amount of money that we're paying, we don't really want to try. We want stuff that we will enjoy. Now here are our pros list, here are our cons. So yeah, the cons are hot, not a lot to do, meaning you can finish this park very soon. And there's not a lot of food, options here. Now, pros, animals, rides for everyone to do. Best rides probably in Disney here. Pandora, awesome park. And the safari ride's cool here. Now, those are pros and cons. So there are all the park pros and cons. Now, if I were you, if going for one day, I would definitely choose Magic Kingdom. Now, if you're going for 2 days, it depends really on what party you have and who you have in your party, what they like, what they don't like. For me, if I had to choose one park, definitely Magic Kingdom. If I had to put them in order, Magic Kingdom, for me, then Hollywood Studios, then Epcot, then Animal Kingdom. But also, if I can understand, say you have that 5-year-old, then and you had to only choose like 3 parks, I would do Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and maybe Epcot, and leave out Hollywood Studios. But it also depends on what they like, don't like. So leave me know in the comments, if you had to choose one park to go to, what would you choose? Or 2 or 3, or put them in order. Just tell me what park is your favorite, what one you would choose with your whole group of party, or just you personally, however you want to do it. In the comments below, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends for more Disney information. This has been Disney Nerd Out. Peace!